What did King Charles do to protect the monarchy from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the problems between Harry and Meghan with Queen Camilla, and the division of Meghan's assets in terms of inheritance and income? This is the main content of today's newsletter. We will update all of this in today's version. Well, it seems like the final blow has been revealed when King Charles issued a pretty bold and definitive statement. He said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working members of the royal family. Harry and Meghan's very long biographies were taken away from the royal website, and they were replaced by one pretty short joint bio that features their names but does not feature their titles. And the bios of Archofficial and Elizabeth have been completely erased. So this move by King Charles is coming as reports are also coming out that Harry and Meghan are interested in being part-time working royals, as two of their family members are recuperating from serious illness. Harry and Meghan were just hoping that they would be asked to become working royals again on their own terms, though, of course. But this move by the King protects Prince William and the monarchy with a firm and official announcement. And I say bravo, King Charles. I mean, if Harry and Meghan had come back, William probably would have quit. And what about Anne and Edward and Camilla, too? Now, the king may be a loving father, but he's not an idiot. It's to me like the king is following in his mother's footsteps. So the late queen wished Harry and Meghan well, and after the Oprah interview, she said recollections may vary, and that pretty much sealed their fates. That move, Harry became just Harry, seated in the third row. And that also meant that Harry and Meghan were not going to be featured in the same way as the rest of the working royals. They weren't going to get to appear on the balcony, for example. And a few years ago, let's remember Harry and Meghan said that they would never return without an apology. Well, that apology is never going to come. So that's fine, Harry and Meghan, just stay put. But be careful what you wish for. Maybe Harry and Meghan are never going to return as working members of the royal family, but are they still going to remain much loved members of the family? At no point did anybody try to claim that Harry and Meghan were returning because they don't want that type of life. Well, they do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. Clearly, they are living their lives on their own terms. It seems like so many people believe that being royal is the best thing in the world, but obviously it's not for everybody. I mean, it seems to have upset people that Harry and Meghan have lived in this fantasy world and they turn their backs on the royal family. Well, it upsets me too. But hey, if Harry and Meghan do not want to be a prince and princess, that's fine. But we know why Meghan Markle married Harry, and why is she insisting on using that title in America as if they're royals living in America? They're not royal. I mean, so they sent a public statement in their private one, but if it was a private one, how do we know about it? I didn't see anybody close to William and Catherine making public statements because they did so privately. That's something Harry and Meghan simply don't understand. Another thing is, if Harry and Meghan didn't want to live by the rules of the royal family, then why did they get married in the UK? Why did Meghan say that she was going to hit the ground running? Why didn't they head to the US in the first place and get married there? Why did they make the taxpayers pay for that wedding? I mean, their lives are certainly no better in America than they were in Britain. Meghan Markle is just a liar. Because I guess that's not the message that she said in her engagement interview. Remember, she said that she was excited to be a working royal. And I'm sure she didn't tell anybody about those concerns when she first met the Queen to get permission to marry Harry. But at least, I guess, Harry's invisible children will never have their lives decided for them by the monarchy. They're certainly not in the immediate line of succession. They're basically in the same positions as Eugenie and Beatrice. Now, they have titles that the parents insisted on them having. In fact, the parents kind of stole those titles because they were not announced by the king beforehand. But they're not, and they never can be working royals. They're going to have to get educations. They're going to have to get ready to make a living for themselves. Like William's other cousins, too, like Peter and Zara and Louise and James. The role of the royal family in Britain today is also symbolic. Now, they still follow centuries old traditions and protocol, but Meghan was an idiot. She believed that she could just change all that with a snap of her fingers. Britain is not a classist society. Britain certainly is a multicultural society, but it still has class. And as a special family, they are always under scrutiny, and it's really difficult for them to keep their most private moments secret. So the last thing they need in their lives is a couple of people like Harry and Meghan in their midst. So the next thing we got to talk about, do Harry and Meghan have problems with Queen Camilla? Well, Harry claims that he has issues with her, and he says that he always felt like that. Of course, he never told the public about these issues until he met Meghan Markle. I still remember him saying before King Charles married Queen Camilla that he was so happy for his father, that he was happy that his father was able to be with the woman he loves. And he said that Queen Camilla made him happy, and that was all that was important. But now, ever since Spare came out, it seems like he's changed his mind. Everything now is different. The real issue, though, is that both Harry and Meghan have had problems with basically everybody they have ever been in contact with. And he's claiming that Queen Camilla is this wicked stepmother. Absolutely not. He's also said that Camilla somehow had a hand in his mother's death. He's Looney Tunes. Sure, Harry has problems with Camilla. Okay, fine. Now, these problems could be real, but I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't remember any example where the Queen threw him under the bus. And I suspect a lot of this is in Harry's imagination, maybe due to all the drugs he's used. His memory, even he has admitted, is not very good. So, what is the big issue? Well, she's the queen, and Harry views that as Meghan Markle's position. Is anybody going to be able to convince him otherwise? Who knows? He's still waiting on this apology that's never going to come because he's a man baby. He is spoiled rotten. And he's still wanting revenge, but revenge for what? The longer Harry continues down this dark and twisted path he's on, the more damage he's going to do, not to his family, but to himself. Harry has problems with everything and everybody. It's not only with Camilla. And he's going to continue to try to destroy his own family, drag them into a very public feud. And thank God it's not going to happen. So the problem for Harry is you can't be at war with a family when the family won't fight back. Harry and Meghan are only ruining their own destinies. And we've all seen it, and it's going to continue. And I don't know what they're trying to do here, honestly, but I feel like the show is far from over. So, okay, let's not show our shock at what's coming next. I think Harry has much bigger issues to deal with than Queen Camilla at this point. I mean, he's got his visa challenge to worry about. You know what they say, though, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Now, Queen Camilla is a real woman. She loves her husband, the king, and she loves her country. Harry, you don't know what you're doing. That Meghan Markle has convinced you of a whole lot of BS, and you've just eaten it up. And look, I'm an outsider in this whole dynamic. I'm not a member of their family, and it's hard to tell if Harry really is how he appears, or if he's just a good but very, very weak man, and it's the drugs, it's the bad memory and cognitive dissonance from the relationship with Meghan that causes him to blame everybody else for his problems. Another issue to discuss, what's up with the breakdown of Meghan Markle's fortune in terms of inheritance and earnings? Let's dig in. So Meghan Markle lived in Toronto in a rented home. She rented her car. She didn't have any work after Suits and nothing really before that either. But somehow she managed to live a pretty nice life. She would stay in Soho House and she associated with some of the elite of Toronto society, including Jessica and Ben Mulroney, the son and daughter-in-law of the ex-Prime Minister of Canada, who was both a politician and a very successful businessman. So she filmed 134 episodes of Suits, and she was paid $50,000 per episode. So in total, she earned about 6.7 mil. But she had to live off that and pay taxes too. So what she ended up with was, of course, a lot less. Now she did some modeling, but she was never a supermodeling. Come on. And we know that she had a reputation for being a diva, for being difficult and demanding. So nobody ever really wanted to work with her long term. She was a mooch, though. She would get free clothes, and we also know that Meghan Markle has been a liar from the very beginning. Meghan stole the Aquazzura shoes that she was lent for a photo shoot, and she just said that, oh, she failed to return them. Meghan Markle didn't have a job, she was running low on cash, and so she told Lizzie Cundy that she wanted herself a rich and famous Englishman, and of course, Harry fit the bill. Now, if she really did have a fortune and was the feminist that she insisted she was, why would she need to use men like she has? Her describing herself as a feminist is ridiculous. Meghan Markle has gotten benefits for services she rendered to men basically her entire life. And Meghan Markle's living expenses would have begun at least about $3,000 a month for rent. And nothing that Meghan does is anything less than first class. So, I mean, come on. I'm sure she spent money as fast as she spends Harry's money. And I'm not sure how much she started out at, but I know it was not the amount that she'd want us to believe. She claimed that she had $5 million of her own when she met Harry. I don't believe that, though. That cannot be true. I just think she didn't want the media to call her a gold digger. What about the fact that she was already living with that celebrity chef Corey when she first started seeing Harry? And there's also the jewelry to talk about. Meghan Markle is a phony feminist, just like she's a phony everything else. She's even admitted in the past that she's such a fraud, so her fake feminism shouldn't be shocking to anybody. I mean, maybe Meghan Markle was doing a lot better on her knees, and if that was too much work, well, she could just lay on her back. I have heard that some of those yacht girls get paid a very handsome price. And there are people claiming that Meghan Markle started off at only $35,000 an episode on Suits and that she got a raise to the $50,000. She also had PR people, she had agents to pay, and that had to come out of her salary. Meghan Markle also didn't leave or give up anything because she had already been written out of Suits by the time she landed Harry. She was already living with Corey, a celebrity chef in Toronto, for quite some time actually, when she FedExed her rings back to her ex-husband Trevor. Now, Trevor was the one, let's remember, who got her that job on Suits. I mean, without him, there's no way she would have landed that role. He called in a few favors. So Trevor is the one who got her to number 6 on the roll call for Suits. So Sugar's out there. No, forget this idea that you have in your heads that Meghan was the star of the show. She wasn't. She was also still living with Corey when she started this mission to land herself a rich Englishman. And then she was finally set up and introduced, or perhaps hired, if you know what I mean, with Harry. So one thing is sure, Meghan Markle has always had herself taken care of by wealthy men, and that includes Corey. The Queen also told Meghan that she was welcome to continue with her acting career, and Meghan knew she was about to leave her role in Suits because she was being written out. Meghan told a bold-faced lie to Her Late Majesty the Queen, and she acted like she had given everything up for Harry. Of course, though, Meghan didn't understand how this amazing woman knew about so many important matters of state. And come on now, the late Queen could recognize a liar when she saw one. Late Queen had met more than her fair share of sketchy liars over the years of her reign, and Meghan was just so dumb. She was so ignorant. She didn't know that the late Queen was an incredibly intelligent woman. Meghan didn't know anything about the meetings that she attended. She just thought that she was this old lady. But you know what? This old lady had the measure of this woman who lied as easily as she did, but was totally unaware that she'd been caught. And so naturally, people in the UK despise her for trying to make the late Queen do things that she didn't want to do, things that would raise her and her husband as equals to William and Catherine. How ridiculous is that? And it has nothing to do with Meghan Markle's skin color. It has everything to do with her character. That's the information in today's news, and I want to know your opinions and thoughts on these events. Please leave a comment to let us know. Thank you so much for watching, goodbye, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.